What exactly are these little green buds? Capers come from a prickly bush called caperberry, which grows wild in the Mediterranean and parts of Asia. They start out as flower buds, but before they bloom, they're picked, dried, and preserved in salt or brine. That's what gives them their signature briny, tangy flavor. If you've ever had green olives, you might find that capers taste pretty similar. They've got that same lemony, salty bite, but with a slightly floral twist that sets them apart. And because they're usually packed in brine, they bring a savory, salty element to any dish they touch. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but what do I actually do with capers? Well, the possibilities are endless. Capers are a staple in Mediterranean cuisine, especially in seafood dishes like baked fish and pasta sauces like puttanesca. But they're not just limited to that. Capers can add a briny, lemony kick to all sorts of recipes, from chicken piccata to hearty stews and even cheese plates. In the US, you'll often find capers served with bagels, cream cheese, and lox. They're like the cherry on top of that classic combo. And when you chop them up finely, they make a killer addition to tapenade, sauces, dressings, and compound butters. You can even fry them up to create a crispy, salty garnish that'll take your dishes to the next level. But here's the thing, not all capers are created equal. They come in different sizes, and each one has its own unique flavor profile. The smallest variety, called nonpareils, comes from the south of France and tends to have a more concentrated, delicate flavor. That's why they're often considered the crème de la crème of capers, and they've got a price tag to match. On the other end of the spectrum, you've got larger varieties like serfins, capucines, capotes, and fines. These guys tend to be a bit more acidic, so you might want to use them sparingly or adjust your recipe accordingly. And just to throw a wrench in the mix, there's also something called a caperberry. If a caper isn't harvested as a bud, it grows into a small, olive-sized berry with a long stem and little seeds inside. Caperberries are also pickled, but they're softer and less piquant than capers, so they're not a one-to-one swap in recipes. Instead, try adding them to an antipasto platter or using them as a garnish for savory cocktails like Bloody Marys. Now, I know what you might be thinking, what if I don't have capers on hand? Don't worry, we've got you covered. In a pinch, you can substitute finely chopped green olives in a 1-to-1 ratio. Kalamata olives work too, but they're not quite as tangy as the green variety. And for those of you watching your sodium intake, just keep in mind that capers are packed in brine, which means they're pretty high in salt. But they're also low in calories and contain some vitamins and minerals like vitamin K, copper, and magnesium. As with most things, moderation is key. So, how can you start incorporating capers into your cooking? The options are really endless, but here are a few ideas to get you started. First up, chicken piccata. This classic Italian dish features tender chicken breasts in a lemon butter sauce studded with briny capers. It's a total crowd pleaser and comes together in just a few simple steps. Or, try swapping out the chicken for pork chops or even catfish. The capers still play a starring role, adding that signature tanginess to the buttery pan sauce. Looking for a quick and easy pasta night? Whip up a batch of linguine with tuna puttanesca. This dish relies on pantry staples like canned tuna, olives, and of course, capers, which get fried with garlic and red pepper flakes to create a flavor-packed sauce. And let's not forget about vegetarian options. Capers make a great addition to roasted cauliflower steaks, especially when they're mashed into a compound butter with parsley and lemon zest. Or, try them in a pasta dish with tomatoes, Kalamata olives, and fresh mozzarella for a briny, cheesy delight. Finally, if you're feeling fancy, whip up a mustardy caper sauce to spoon over grilled flatiron steaks. The robust flavor of the meat is a perfect match for the tangy, herby sauce. So there you have it, a crash course in all things capers. These little buds may be small, but they pack a serious punch when it comes to flavor. Thanks for tuning into Foodology, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more content.